Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It is an absolutely beautiful day, and I hate to say it, but it feels a lot like fall. All the hot, humid, smoky weather is gone. Last night it was in the 50s, and it's just a glorious day today. Absolutely beautiful. But I'm out here by the barn, and I have been just ripping through these log piles out here, hauling stuff into the processor. I took about 5 or 6 grapple loads over last night, and this morning I'm over here just kind of cutting some more stuff down to length and cutting out the crooked parts and all that. Then I stack a bunch up with the excavator, and then I'll carry them over with the wheel loader. All cherry and maple is what I'm focusing on now. There's a deer, a doe, right in front of me. Last night when I was doing this, there was a buck out there in front of me as well. But if I was just walking around out here, they would not like that. Look at that. That's a jag of wood right there. Couldn't care less. That's got to be close to a cord of wood right there. There's, I think, 6 logs there, all like 15, 16 inches in diameter, 12 to 14 feet long. But I'll take these over to the processor, drop them off, and then we got a visitor stopping here in a little bit. Many of you will recognize. Well, many of you know Doug from One Eyed Customs.
Hello.
Look at that right there. That's the second half of them. We got 100 more track cleaning tools.
Yep.
Now, you powder coat these yourself?
Yeah, and I guess last week we've had the high heat and then the smoke indexes, and yesterday was the first day that it was below what seemed like 100 degrees and couldn't breathe outside. So I spent, like I said, probably about 12 hours in the garage yesterday, from about 5 a.m. till 6 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
You know, getting these all done because I knew we were coming down to Pittsburgh to drop some friends of my son's off at the Pittsburgh airport.
Yeah.
So I just thought, let's get these all done and,
Yeah.
you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
So last time Doug made 50 of these, and I said, oh, they'll sell pretty quick. And what did you tell me? He said, when you get down to 20, let you know, and you'll start making more. So the video went up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think it was 8:12 or 8:15. I called and said, we're down to 20.
I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and then I think they were all sold. The first 50 sold in 40 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But
well,
we got 100 of them now.
Yeah, and this time I did something a little bit different. I made your 100, but now I've also got 50 more in inventory at my house. I just still need to powder coat those.
Right.
But
yeah, pull one of those out of there. Show them. They work fantastic. They do. Track cleaning tool. The little flat bars on the smooth part of your tracks. It's got the little hook there to get, you know, in the tight corners, but so much better than like a track spade.
Yeah.
Now, if you had a big dozer, you want the big track shovel. But
right.
For any mini excavators, skid loaders.
Yep. Now, I've got, I'm going to try and get, a buddy of mine's got a smaller dozer. And I gave him one of these a while ago. But I'm going to try to get some video of him cleaning that out, or me cleaning his dozer out for him, just to show that they do really work well on a smaller dozer. I used to have a 650H, John Deere 650H, and
yeah.
you know, it works great for that. But the one thing in particular that I use the hook end for is I can actually get in behind the sprockets with that on
right.
any machine, whether it's a dozer, or skid loader, or excavator, or whatever. Even the mini skid loaders, there's many people got those things.
I use it.
You know, they're good for all of those.
Yeah, and you built these nice racks to transport them on?
Yeah, what I did, well, after I made 50 of them, and there's 50 here, and I looked at that and I thought, well, how in the world am I going to get them down there to them?
Yeah.
And So I thought, well, I'll just make some 2x4s, and of course I usually go overboard, so I put a little bit of carpet on them. So when you guys that are buying these, you know, they don't come in scratched up or anything else. Again, you know, you're beating the crap out of these, digging around in the machine and everything, but you want it to look nice when it shows up at your door.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I made some racks, and I made it so they're ratchet strapped down so they're tight, so I can still take corners at, you know, 80 miles an hour in the truck.
How many of these do you think you made over the years?
Well, this will be, I'll have had 200, and I've probably made a couple hundred prior to that over the years. So
Yeah.
this is a completely different design, though, than the original ones I was making, and the one you originally got.
Yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but it was made out of a clothes hook rod, you know, an oval-shaped clothes rod, and then I did the same pick end and hoe end on them and welded those on, but the material of them was super thin, and it was really hard to weld. Now with the setup that I have on these, I can weld 150 of these in a day. It's pretty easy. The prep is what takes the longest for everything, whether it's deburring everything, you know, getting the sharp edges off of all that stuff, and then prepping them to powder coat is usually pretty long as well.
Yeah. Everybody likes them. I know I love them. They work. Anything that makes things easier and better. You know what I mean? You just got to like it.
And it's just, you know, I guess that's how this whole thing came about. I was using a track shovel and whatever, you know, and then when it's really sloppy, muddy, I'd go in with the track shovel and go to try and pull it out, like on my dozer, and all the mud's still sitting on the undercarriage, because when you pull the shovel out,
or when you shove it in there thinking you're hitting mud and you hit something hard and your wrists, you feel it all the way up your arms.
So it's just one of those inventions that kind of take off. And I mean, I have you to thank for publishing it and all that, you know. I mean, I might have been using my head and giving you one, but it was, at that point in time, I had no thoughts of ever even producing these things. It was just, here, try this out and see what you think of it.
Yeah, I love it. But anyway, they're back on the website. Better get them quick.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
I hope so.
All right, so I am back out here by the barn. Levi and I just cranked out a bunch of firewood with the processor. The wood bunker is about 50% full. We'll have that filled up by the end of the week, no trouble at all. But I got a little project out here that I've been putting off doing. I don't know why, but I got to get it taken care of. And by the way, the excavator is doing a regen. That's why it's sitting there running. But you see this spot right in here? If memory serves me, there was a giant oak tree somewhere right in here. And I took that tree down to get ready for the building, dug the stump out, and it has just remained soft for the longest time. Matter of fact, running through here today with the wheel loader, I was dumping some stumps and some brush in the burn pit over there. It was actually pumping water coming up out of the ground. And I think what happened, before I got these downspouts, all the drain pipe in, you know, I had kind of a ditch through here, but it's probably 3 feet, maybe even 4 feet deep, and it's just soft. And it took a lot of that water from the gutters, and it'll just constantly be a problem. So what I'm gonna do is this maple tree right here, it's gotta go. It's just too tight to go around the barn here, like with a trailer. The nice oak there, I'm keeping it, but that maple's gonna go. Then I'll have another stump hole right there. I'm gonna skin that little bit of stone off of there. I'll put that big bucket on the excavator and I'm going to dig until I hit good solid ground. I'll take all that stuff out of there, put some good shale back in there, compact it real well, and we'll have a nice road. Well, the start to the road around the barn. That was a stubborn little maple tree right there. Managed to get it on the ground. What happened, I was digging on 3 sides of it. I didn't want to dig on that side by the oak there that I want to keep. And then it started to split on me, which I always kind of like to do that right where the Y is. And you got to be careful, because if you're pushing on it and the top gets hung up in something, you know, this bottom can kick out and come back on the machine. But it's on the ground, safe and sound. But check this out. Here's the problem that I'm talking about. Bone dry down in that hole right there. I mean, there's dust, powder. This soft spot, there's water pumping out of the ground right here. That is from when that downspout wasn't collected, went into this big hole from a big stump and just stayed saturated. I'm going to get the saw. Well, first I got to head over to the firewood processor. I left my headphones over there. Go get them, come back. I'll limb that maple tree out, put all the brush in the burn pit. And I was going to try to just dig this out with the skid loader, but I think I'm going to have to go deep, you know? We'll have to see. All right, I took way more out of there than what I thought I would have to, but I'm right down on the good shale right there. There's still a little bit of black stuff over here. I may take just a little bit more of this out of here, But I think that's pretty good. I do. Looks like a mess right now, but it'll all work out when I'm done. There's that doe right there and the 2 fawns. That's the doe with the bum leg right there. I don't know if you can see them. I see one of the fawns now. I saw the other one a few minutes ago. But anyway, right now I'm going to head over to the house, get some dinner. I may come back out here later this evening, or I might wait until tomorrow morning. I just want to make sure there's no more water seeping into that spot. Then we'll dig up some shale, get it in there, get it compacted. Should be good to go. All right, it is first thing in the morning. I'm going to dig a little bit more shale here and then get my fire going. They're calling for some bad storms this afternoon, and you just don't know anymore. You know what I mean? Like yesterday afternoon, they're talking about, risk of tornadoes and hail and damaging winds, and I'm sure we're supposed to get some storms, but they hype all that stuff up so much, you don't know. You just don't know. You know what I mean? Everything's for clicks. I extended this pit out just a little bit, trying to get more of this shale out of here, because I got a giant hole to fill in over there. I had to take out way more than what I had planned. Oh, we're into the good stuff. Oh yeah. All I know is the pile that I took out is much bigger than the pile I have to put back in. right, I am getting there. I need about another foot, and I need to get things cleaned up around here and things put away pretty quick. It is getting dark fast. The last thing I want to do is get an inch of rain with this hole right here, and I'll be right back to where I started. Not quite as bad, but it won't be good. Well, I got done just in time. Raining pretty steady right now, but I think that's pretty good. If I had more time before the rain, I wanted to go get Adam's roller. It's over at the wood yard, and roll that in lifts, but I tracked it in a bunch with the skid loader. It's good material. It should be fine. I loaded up my fire pit there with some more debris. So we'll have a fire burning throughout the day, and we're just gonna have to see what the weather does. So I was just talking to Melissa on the phone, and that doe with the bum leg was out here again, and I thought we had a pretty good relationship, you know? I'm starting to think she's gonna fight me before it's all over. I watched her over in the field there chasing a buck away, and she's just kind of nasty. She's always going after the other doe. That was the first time I saw her go after a buck. But she walked up to me, she's like 30 feet away from me, just kind of looking at me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And we may be wrestling before it's all over. I don't know. She went down over the hill for a little bit. Maybe she's planning her attack. I'm not sure. But before we wrap this up, I need to mention something. At the beginning of this video, Doug was here with 100 more track cleaning tools. Well, today is Tuesday. You're gonna see this video on Thursday. So I told Levi this morning, I said, put them back on the website because a lot of people fill out the back in stock request. So if we're out of something, they get an email when it's back in stock. Well, he did that, and in the first half hour, we sold over 20 of them. So hopefully there's still some available. If there's not, just go to the website, submit the back in stock request, and then next time we have them, I already told Doug he's going to start making more right now. You'll be notified and you can get yours. But they're a really handy tool. We also have fire starter available, and I think that's about it. I do. I'm not sure what I'm going to do the rest of the day. Rain days are always a little bit of trouble because I always have in my head a few things that I need to go pick up or get, like a new tool or something. And then rain days turn into a shopping day, which I don't really want to do that, but we'll see what happens. But I think that's about it. Appreciate you guys being here, and I will catch you on the next one.